to the house that Ross built today. We have the infamous J.R. Fenwick. You've heard him,
Uh-oh.
you've seen him, whether here or nationally, through Black Enterprise or anywhere else you may have heard of him. And today he's going to be talking about a new program that he started, program that he's actually launched, several months back, but made it affordable for everybody to learn stocks. If anybody wants to learn, he made it affordable, and he's also simplified the process where anybody can also do it. So it's not complicated. So we want to bring him on today to share that program with you all. And so here he is. Welcome, JR.
All right, all right. I appreciate the introduction. It's great to be back. It's so much happening, as you know, in the economy and in the market and everything. And so I'm here to share with you what we got and what's going on, because it is getting crazy.
Absolutely. And people need somewhere to put their money in to make more money outside of either a 9 to 5.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, first of all, if you just look at what's happening with the economy, you got corporations laying off, right, at unprecedented levels. The government cutting jobs and downsizing and furloughing and laying off. And then you got AI coming in, and that's taking people's positions. So we're in a unique period in history that the world has never seen before. And so most people have been taught that old phrase of go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, and hang on to it, and do it for 40 years and then retire, right? And that formula doesn't work anymore. And so people who are sticking with that formula are at a high risk. I mean, they're at maximum risk. And so the name of the game now is you gotta do something different or just stay at risk. And so the new formula is get assets. Assets are something that you can put money into that can produce income or appreciation, build residual income, and build wealth. Now, this isn't a new formula for wealthy people. That's how they've always got wealthy. Get assets, get residual, build wealth. It's only really new for people who have just thought the only way I can make money is through a job, and I'm just going to hold on to that job. And so we're showing people first and foremost, you got to flip your mindset, right? So the name of my company is FlipThatStock, but before you get to doing any of this, you got to flip your mindset and say, I got to do some things differently in this new economy. And so that's the first thing we're teaching people is you have to realize and accept you're at risk and that things have changed. And if you don't change, you're just going to get crushed.
Yeah, that's the key element right there. People have to recognize that they need to do something different, that there is a risk, with everything going on. So, that's the hard part, I think, a lot of times in our community, flip that mindset.
Yeah, people, I mean, we're stuck in our ways, right? And especially as we get older, right? A lot of people who are headed towards retirement, say they're in their 50s and 60s and they're ready to coast towards retirement. And now they're finding out, wait a minute, there's no job security, right? And so I may get tossed out. You got to start thinking, what am I going to do? How would I replace that income? And even as you go into retirement, this is a staggering stat, Aziz. So about 11,600 people every single day reach retirement age, but 50% of those reaching retirement age don't have enough money accumulated to go into retirement. So this is when you can start seeing you walking in Walmart and you seeing somebody who's older as a Walmart greeter or working the cash register or stocking the shelves, right? This isn't what people want to do, when they reach that age. And imagine if you were in that good, cushy government or corporate job, and then all of a sudden something happens. And now you're like, how am I going to make this income? I already got all the degrees and all that. That doesn't seem to matter. And so you got to start thinking differently, right? And like I said, flip that mindset. And then once you flip your mindset, the second part is you got to take action. You got to get involved in something that can give you what you want, right? And so I don't think most people want to be working from 8 to faint every day, as they get older, right? And so one of the things that we do here is we teach people how to utilize the stock market to generate passive and residual income, right? And as you mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have a new program that's called Shop for Stocks Online. And first thing is we teach people the difference between trading and investing, right? So trading is where you go in and you buy shares of a stock and you sell it, all right, in less than a year. It could be you do it in months, weeks, days, hours, even minutes or seconds. We teach people at Flip That Stock how to go in and flip a stock in 60 seconds or less. That's trading. Investing is where you buy and you hold shares or slices or pieces of ownership in a company. It's all the same, a share, a slice, a piece of ownership. The technical term is a share because you're sharing in the ownership of a company. Where you hold that for a year or longer, you're an investor. So we created a new program called Shop for Stocks Online that's geared towards teaching people how to invest in a fun and easy way that can not only generate passive income, but also residual income. And this thing has been taken off all across the country. So
Yeah, and I'm a participant as well, so
Mhm.
I'm a little biased when it comes to.
Right.
But, I've talked to a lot of people that do day trading, that do investing and so on and so forth, and I talked to them about what we're doing, and they seem not to have a clue really how to keep it simple and how to actually make money off of it. They always complaining about, oh, this it hadn't worked for me, or this way, that way, but that's because they listen to these people that they're complicated and make
Right.
it seem like you need a degree just to trade stocks.
Right. That's our claim to fame is that we go into the market, right? And the stock market it is complex. It will hurt your head. But we go in and we do that work for you. We go in, we get a strategy, and we've created our own strategies that make it extremely simple to learn and understand. So let me give you an example. With our new Shop for Stocks Online program, what I did was one day I was shopping on Amazon, and I realized how easy it is to shop on Amazon, right? And then I started looking at the steps that I take to shop on Amazon. I look at the picture of the product. I look at the price. I look at the features of the product. I look at the ratings. It has 5-star rating or 4-star rating, and then I look at reviews. And as crazy as these, I realize that's the exact same thing that I do when I'm shopping and buying stocks. Those same five things that I use to shop on Amazon, I use when I'm buying stocks. And so I created an interface that mimics shopping on Amazon. So if you can shop on Amazon, you take that same skill set and we teach you how to apply it and go shopping for stocks online. So now what's happening is when you shop on Amazon or Walmart.com or other online stores, you're a consumer. You're taking money out of your pocket and giving it to somebody else, right? We're teaching people how to take money out of their pocket and buy ownership in companies that have a potential to appreciate in value. So, I know you're the real estate guru. So, if you buy a house and let's just say you get a house for $300,000 and let's say 5 years later or so, it goes up to 500. It appreciated. Well, stocks can appreciate like that too. Say you bought a stock or slices of stock for $30 a share, and maybe a year or two later, it's up to 100 a share. It appreciated. So using that same real estate analogy, with that piece of real estate that a person buys for $300,000, they could put a tenant inside of it that'll pay rent. Well, we can put a tenant inside of a stock. We call it a dividend. And rather than the tenant paying us every month, we just say, hey, pay us every 3 months. And so that tenant named dividend can pay us every 3 months. So now we can get appreciation with that stock, and we can get passive income being paid through a dividend. But a lot of people, they don't understand all this, right? It's so complicated. But for those who are going to be watching, your audience who's watching this, I want you to think about how simply I just broke that down. That is literally how this thing works. When I use a lot of analogies to help people understand how this whole thing works, and it's not complicated when you have somebody teaching you it that way. So we can take anybody. Matter of fact, it's easier when you have less knowledge about the stock market because we don't have to get rid of all that other complicated stuff that cluttered your head, cluttered your head up. And you think about this, you talk about people who they said, "Oh, I tried this thing," and da da da. Well, let's say you went on a date with somebody and it just didn't work, or you were dating somebody and it just didn't work. Well, do you give up on dating altogether? Right? So the stock market uh, has created more wealth than anything else. That's where the wealthy play. That's why they talk about it every day, all day long on TV. So I tell people, if you try something, let it go. Don't give up. Come to us and watch what we do. We'll break it down and just watch what we do. We have so many success stories because uh, we keep it simple. And we've got other twists in there, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I just want to kind of give people an overview of what Shopper Stocks Online is and how it works.
Yeah. And like I was saying, that I'm actually, a member, a fan, all of that. So, and my story, I was never a stock guy. I didn't understand it.
Right.
Understand it. I felt like, I was doing enough of real estate. But when you came to me and you taught me and you told me, hey, this is simple. We can keep it simple. I didn't want to add, another whole skill set, even though it is a skill set.
Right.
Already doing. And you made it simple for trading stocks, day trading, for, long-term trading and investing. And, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Again, that's our secret sauce, and that's our reputation. And it's funny because people just can't believe it. Like I was doing a seminar. It was a packed seminar. Must have been like 100, 200 people at this seminar, right? And this lady, she was about 3 rows back. And as I'm doing the seminar, she just starts staring, like just not moving, just staring at me. And so it became so uncomfortable. I didn't know if she was sick or what was going on. So I stopped the seminar and I said, "Excuse me, ma'am, are you okay? Because you're just staring." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm okay." And I'm like, "Well, why are you just staring like that?" And she said, "Mr. Fenwick, I just went to a stock market seminar 3 days ago. And it was so complicated and so hard. It was hurting my head. And now I'm sitting here looking at how you're teaching it. And my brain is just messed up because you've made it so simple. My brain is just trying to just comprehend how you've made it this simple versus what she went to. And that's our secret sauce. It is not that complicated if you have somebody who has studied this thing for 20 plus years like I have, who figured it out and can teach anybody very simple, doable things. And we use a lot of analogies that people do in everyday life. So people shop on Amazon all the time. So I say, if you can shop on Amazon, boom, you can shop for stocks online. And we just transfer that skill set over to, going from a consumer to being an owner. And that's our secret sauce and our claim to fame, man.
Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm a testimony myself. So I'm pretty well versed in what you're teaching, at least. I wouldn't say, all those other extra things that people teach about the stock market. I may not know that stuff, but I know how to make money on the market. And
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, right?
Right. And to your credit, when for your listening audience and viewing audience, when I met you, you were a skeptic. You were like, "Man, I don't know nothing about that stock market. I don't do that thing." But to your credit, you were interested enough to say, I don't know what I don't know. And so let me delve into this. And you invested in yourself as well. And then you started learning and seeing, wait a minute, no, there's opportunities here. And it is not as complicated as others. And quite frankly, if people aren't willing to open their mind up like you did and say, "I'm willing to listen and learn," and then the other part is open your wallet up, nothing free. Now, there's old saying, nobody gives away all the good stuff and free and all this free information. Like, I spent over $100,000 to learn all this different stuff that I know. And I charge a fraction of that for those who are interested in getting in our program. But you got to be willing, first and foremost, to flip your mindset, learn, open your wallet, and then take action, right? So you got to do all three. It's not like, okay, I flip my mind. Like if we use okay, I want to get in better shape. This is an analogy. So I decided I want to get in better shape, but I don't know how to do it. So I learned from somebody who's say a trainer how to do it, but I don't follow their program. That's not, I paid them, but I ain't doing that. That's not going to work. You got to flip your mindset. You got to learn, and then you got to take action and actually do it. And we show people a fun and easy way to do it. Matter of fact, it become addictive, like, because you can just, pull your phone out and look up a stock. And when we teach you how to go shopping for that stock and evaluate it, just like anything else, it starts to become fun. You can do it while you're out and about.
Yeah. That was one of the key things for me, because I'm an entrepreneur, so I have that spirit, or let's say a business owner. I have that spirit where, I want to be able to have the freedom to do what I want to do. And then, when I started listening to you and you breaking it down, what you were teaching, I see it as something, that I can do, like you said, anywhere. If I'm traveling, I'm on vacation, I'm sick, not feeling well, I can't go to work, I can still, get into the market.
Yeah, you make a great point. And I want your viewers to think about this. All right, forget about the stock market for a second. Let's just say, you're going out to buy a new shirt, a suit, some shoes or whatever. People don't realize that there's a 3-step process that they do, and they don't even think about it. The first thing that they do is they shop. They go searching for the item that they're looking for. The second thing they do is they evaluate it. And then if it passes that evaluation, then they buy it. So let's say you're going out and you're looking for a pair of shoes. All right, you're looking at you go in the store, you're looking at all these different shoes, and boom, you zone in on 1 or 2 pairs, and you evaluate them. Okay, what do they look like? What's the color? What's the fit? What's the material? Right? How high is the heel or how low is it? Does it have zipper? Does it have lace? You're evaluating it. And in your mind, without you even thinking about it, you're saying yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Yes or no, do I like the fact that it has laces instead of a zip? Yes or no, do I like this color? Yes or no, do I like this style and this fit? And if it passes that evaluation, then you buy it. So it doesn't matter what you're buying, those 3 steps. You shop or search for the product, you evaluate, and if it passes the evaluation, you buy it. So we took those same steps and applied it to the stock market. We show people how to go shopping and searching for various stocks. We show them how to go through the evaluation process. If it passes the evaluation process for them, then boom, we show them, how to actually purchase the shares. And there's things like, suppose you went in to buy a pair of shoes, right? And let's say your budget was $200. But you saw this beautiful pair of shoes, man. These things were nice, but you didn't see the price tag. The price tag was inside. So you're just looking at the shoe, right? And so you're looking at the shoe and you're like, oh man, this shoe is incredible. I'm going to get this shoe. But then you pull the price tag out and it says $2,000. And say your budget is $200. Well, that's probably going to stop you. And you say, man, I love this shoe, but the price is not right. So you go find something else. Same thing with stocks. Right? We show you how to look at the stock overall, look at the price, look at the features, look at the rate. Stocks have ratings and reviews just like Amazon products. A lot of people don't know that. So you look at all that. If it passes the evaluation, boom, then you can go ahead and buy the stock. So we've created this interface that really simplifies the whole thing.
And what I like to say about your program, and also in the market, is that obviously you got to get into the program, but you can actually wear it. Since we're talking about shopping for clothes, you can actually wear the product for a while, basically through a simulated account, play with it.
Right.
People think, I have to have a lot of money to invest. No, you can learn. As you're learning, you can actually trade in a simulated account to see how you would fare before you actually put money into, whether you want to lose it or win it,
Yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing about technology now is that they have what's called a simulated account or a practice account. But let's take shop for stocks. All right, so FlipThatStock is trading, and then we're talking about shop for stocks. So I'll use an analogy here. All right, because you say, well, you got to be rich, you got to have all this money to get in. No, you don't. Stocks. If you went in Walmart, like if I said to you, Aziz, here's $2. Go into Walmart and don't come out until you have purchased something for $2. Could you do it?
Absolutely.
What might you purchase for $2?
Maybe a pack of gum, piece of candy bar, or something
Okay.
like that.
So, but you know you can do it, right?
Absolutely.
Now, if I gave you $1,000 and I said, go into Walmart and you got to purchase an item that's $1,000 or more, could you do that too?
Absolutely.
So Walmart has a wide range, from $2 up to $1,000 products, right? That's how the stock market is. The stock market has stocks in every price range. So if you got $20, you can find a stock that you can buy a slice of ownership in, right? If you got $10, if you got $100, if you got $1,000, we can show you how to find a stock to get started. We're not talking about getting rich, a get rich quick scheme overnight and all this nonsense. We're talking about how to get started and actually get into the market, right? So you don't have to have be a millionaire to get in the stock market, but people have become millionaires and billionaires because of the stock market, right? You don't have to spend all day looking at fancy charts and doing hours of research. No, we show you a system of how to do that step by step by step. I can show a person how they can go in the store or pull up a stock and in 15 minutes or less, boom, decide whether they want to buy it and actually buy it in 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
With our system. It's about getting people to where they want to be. We help people transform from little or no knowledge to being a educated investor.
Yeah.
And yeah,
That's a good point. So when we're talking about, that's a part of what you talked about before, flipping your mindset. People think, again, they think they need to have all this money, or the flip of that is that they think when they're getting the stock market, they're going to get rich overnight.
right.
It doesn't happen. Right. That's a part of your mindset.
It's flipping the mind. Is anything possible? Anything is possible in the stock market. But you got to say, is it probable? Is it likely? Because you went in and you bought one share of a stock, all of a sudden I'm gonna be rich. No, this is all the stuff that you see on social media and people out here. So let me give y'all some red flags to look out for. If somebody comes to you and says, if you get my course or my program or my software, and I guarantee you're gonna make X amount of dollars, number one, they're lying. Number two, it's illegal. It's illegal. You can't make a promise that somebody's going to make X amount because they get your program. I saw somebody on social media the other day talking about, you get our program, we guarantee you're going to make $10,000 to $100,000. Aziz, they said your first day.
Oh my God.
This is such BS, man. This is just nonsense.
Nonsense.
But people buy into that. So that's a red flag. If somebody says, hey, join this group, give us your money, we're going to put it in a big pool and invest, and I wouldn't do it. Because I have so many people come, and when they want to get their money out, they can't get it out. People try and make them feel guilty, or the people just disappear, right? If somebody says, I'll open up an account for you, just give me your name and give me your social and all that, I'll open it. Man, you have to be crazy to do that nowadays. Don't do it. You just can't. We teach people how to do this themselves so they understand each step of the way, how to do it. But there's a lot of red flags. Again, these outrageous claims. Oh, you're going to be a millionaire within a month. Is it possible? Anything's possible in the stock market. Is it probable? No. But if you stick with a program and you learn a system, right? Anything is possible, but it takes time. But assuming you plan on being on this planet anyway, right? You might as well take the time and learn it, and it's not hard. It's not like it's going to take years to do this. Like in our program, Shop for Stocks Online, we can have you buying your first shares of stock within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, you follow our system, right? But our Flip That Stock program, which is totally different, that's trading stocks, we'll have you practice trading and flipping stocks within 30 days. But we have a very systematized approach, step by step by step, right?
Yeah.
And so
that system is what makes every person wealthy. It doesn't matter if you're in the stock market, real estate, because I teach real estate, obviously, in business, coffee shop. It doesn't matter. If you have a system in place, that's how wealth is generated.
Absolutely. And one of the things I learned about the stock market is, now everybody wants to tell you to quickest way to make money, right? Whether it's real estate or stock. I'm gonna tell your viewers the quickest way to lose money that I have found in the stock market. See, nobody talk about that. Everybody know the quickest way to. So I'm gonna share with y'all the quickest way to lose money. Now this is gonna sound crazy, is to focus on the money. Don't focus on the money.
Absolutely.
Focus on learning a system. And when you become good enough with the system, the byproduct is the money.
Yep.
It's the systems that make money, right? And it doesn't matter. Like, take McDonald's. McDonald's doesn't make the best hamburger, but they got the best system for making hamburgers, and that's why they make money. And so we have to keep that in mind. When you start off, we live in a society where it's, I want fast results right now. Nothing wrong with that, but the system is the quickest way to get you the fast results. Not just focusing on the money.
Yeah.
So that's what we do. Teach them the system.
Teach them the system, and that, is a little analogy about system. I think it goes, save yourself time, effort, and money.
Yeah, somebody just shared that the other day.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a system. Save yourself time, effort, and money. But again, people hear about the stock market and they may have a friend that saw somebody online. Man, I made $100,000. Maybe they did, and they got lucky. Maybe they've been working a system for a year or two, and that happened. Or maybe they just outright lying. So, but nonetheless, if you want to be successful at anything and have consistency, you got to learn the system.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think now everybody understands, the concept, the process, the be able to change your mindset. Now let's talk a little bit about the program that you launched. How can people get involved? What's the price?
Okay.
Down for us.
So, all right. So FlipThatStock, which is my company and the corporation, we've been in business 13 years now. And we specialize in exactly what we're talking about, teaching simple ways for people to learn how to trade in the stock market and invest in the stock market. Right. I created Shop for Stocks Online about 3.5, maybe 4 years ago now. Right. But recently, this past December, I launched a new program. All right. And let me kind of break down what it is and why I launched it. All right. So the first thing is, I get calls from people all the time. Man, I got laid off, man, and they're in a full-blown panic. And they want me to change their life overnight. Now, I've been preaching to always have multiple streams of income and stuff like that for 30-some years. A lot of times people don't listen, but then when something tragic happens, they get laid off or something like that, they're like, okay, I'm ready to listen, but I got to do it overnight. I got to fix this. Well, you're not going to fix it overnight. So you might as well just stop right there and accept you're not going to fix it overnight. So what I did was, with the Shop for Stocks Online program, I said, anytime you own a business, and this, Aziz, anytime you own a business, there's two ways predominantly you can get customers. So one way is you can put ads out. And you pay $1,000, $2,000, or whatever, $500 for an ad, but there's no guarantee just because you put that ad out that you're going to get customers, right? And every company wants to grow. Or the second way you could do it is your current customers could refer you new customers and you pay them. Now, to me, that's a better model because your current customers, they've already experienced the product. Like you've experienced the product. The product is real. It's legitimate. You can make money with it. It works and all that. So you're more confidently able to talk about the product and recommend the product, right? And so what I did was, when I saw all this stuff that was going on, the layoffs in the government, corporation downsizing, the AI is taking jobs, I went and I hired some developers and programs, and we put together a program, a very robust referral program that works like this. To become a member of Shop for Stocks Online is $49 a month. All right. We waste that on all kinds of stuff, going out to dinner. Most people have subscriptions that they're paying that they're, waste, not even using it. They can just transfer that money into an educational program, right?
All day, every day. Yep.
All day, every day. And so we have a program that's $49 a month. We're going to teach you our system of learning how to shop for stocks online and become an investor. We're not talking about trading. We're talking about becoming an investor. And so as part of that program, people can refer new customers. And so let's say you're in the program, you're paying your $49 a month. I'm your friend, and you tell me about Shop for Stock. I'm like, hey, man, I always wanted to learn that. Or maybe I got burnt. And since you're in it and you said it's legit, I'll give it a try because I want to learn this, but I want something legit. So when you sign up, you get what's called a personal referral link and a QR code. So you could send me your referral link, or you could have me scan your QR code if we're together, or if you have a flyer or something that has a QR code on it. And when I click on that link, or when I scan that QR code, it lets our system know that Aziz referred somebody. Okay. And so when I sign up, you get a percentage of my monthly $49 payment, because we wouldn't have a new customer if it wasn't for you referring, or this person refer. Anybody can do this. All right. And so, excuse me, when you refer and I clicked on your link, it lets the system know Aziz referred me, or whoever referred, and you get a percentage of my $49. Now, every month I'm paying the $49. You're going to get a percentage every month. That's called residual income. Comes in every month, whether you get out the bed or not. Most people have never gotten residual income, so they don't understand it, right? But if you're paying your cell bill every month, Sprint or T-Mobile or AT&T or Verizon, they're getting residual income. If you're paying Netflix every month, they're getting residual income. If you're paying your cable bill, they're getting residual income. I'm showing people how we can get residual income by referring people and helping them get a skill set that can change their life. So that's one thing. So when you personally refer somebody, you get a percentage. And you can refer as many people as you want. But here's where it gets crazy. All right. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. All right, Aziz. Have you ever referred somebody to a movie?
Yes.
Did you get paid?
No.
Okay. Would you have liked to gotten paid?
Absolutely.
Okay. So now, let's say you referred me, and I say I'm gonna pay you. All right. I could just pay you once, or would you prefer to get paid month after month, a percentage of what I'm paying?
Month after month.
Okay. So you want the residual. All right, cool. Now I want the viewers to think logically what makes sense. Does it make sense to refer somebody to something and not get paid at all, but the company gets all the money? I think we agree no. All right. If somebody refers you to something and the person is paying month after month, would you rather get paid once or multiple times? Aziz said, because he's smart, every time that person pays, I want to get paid because I brought them the customer.
Absolutely.
All right. But what if we could do more and help you get more money? Would you be interested in that?
Absolutely.
So you're saying you don't want to just stop with just getting paid off of me?
No.
Okay. All right. I think most people, if they think logically, if I can get more, why not get more? So now you referred me. Let's say I go and I get my buddy Joe. You don't know Joe, but I know Joe. And I have my referral link now. I refer Joe. I'm going to get paid something, but you're going to get paid something too. Would you like to get something off of Joe too?
Absolutely.
Are you sure now? Because some people will be like, well, why do I get something? If somebody's offering it, why would you not take it?
Absolutely right.
All right. So now it went from you to me to Joe. What if Joe went and got his buddy Jeff? Would you like to get paid off of Jeff?
Absolutely.
Okay. So now you're getting paid off of me. You get paid off of Joe. You get paid off of Jeff. What if Jeff goes and he gets Lisa? All right. And Lisa gets Jill. And Jill gets Tom. And let's say this thing goes 6 levels deep. And you get paid off of everybody within those 6 levels, right? So I'm level 1, Joe is level 2, Jeff is level 3, Lisa's level 4, and Jill is level 5, and let's say Bob is level 6. But the only person you referred was me. And I went out and got people, and they went out and got people, and so on and so on, right? So here's where the problem comes in. You want to know where the problem comes in?
Where?
Let's just address the pink elephant in the room. Oh, that's one of them things. That's one of them things, right? That's the first thing. We don't have no problem if Walmart said, hey, every customer you refer, we'll give you a percentage off of that. And if they refer somebody, we'll give you. If Walmart did it, no problem, right? But as soon as my company does it, it's like, well, that's one of those things. So the first thing I said was, what do you mean? What's one of those things? What is one of those things, right? Because I can't address what you mean by what. That's a pyramid thing. That's one of them pyramid schemes. All right, let's break this down. Scheme implies illegal. Scheme implies shady. There's nothing shady about what we do. We've been in business for going over 13 years, going on 13 years now. And you're not going to stay in business in the stock market industry, especially with people of color running schemes. People can Google my name and Google the company all they want. They ain't going to find scheme attached with us. All right. So let's get rid of that. Well, pyramid. It's a pyramid. Man, it's one of them pyramid things. Isn't your job a pyramid? You got a CEO, a president, directors, managers, and most people are down here at the bottom. And you're making money for them. When you're below somebody in corporate or in the government, you're making money. They're making more money off of you. They're using your efforts, time, effort, energy, and skills to make money. Do you say you're in a pyramid scheme when you work for the government? Do you say you're in a pyramid scheme when you work in corporate? But you are, right? So you're in a pyramid, period. All right. Well, that's one of the things where everybody, everybody at the top makes more money than the people at the bottom. Okay, well, let's think about this logically. Because Aziz, I just want people to let's just think about logically. Aziz, I'll ask you, can you name one industry where the people at the bottom should make all the money and the people at the top don't make the money? Like let's take Michael Jordan and all the players who weren't as good as him. They should make more than Mike, right? Yeah. So, and that might not be a good analogy because in the NBA sometimes there are some players who did make more and shouldn't have. But my point is this: people at the top make more. However, that's not necessarily the case in our system. Aziz could refer me one person, and I could have went out and got 50 people. I'm going to make more in residual than Aziz because I got more people. He'll get a percentage of all those people, but I'm going to get a bigger percentage. So when people flip their mindset, first you got to flip it and say, I'm willing to learn. Then once you start learning and understanding, then you take action. And so we've been conditioned to make money by ourselves. So check this out. I was very fortunate years ago to meet a wealth mentor. And it's kind of crazy how this thing happened. So I want to share this with your listening audience, and hopefully this will resonate with them. I used to own a home. We lived on 3 acres. It was a beautiful home, dream home. So a friend of mine says, hey, I got somebody I want you to meet. And he brings this guy by. And I'm outside, and I'm on 3 acres, and it was during the fall, and there was all these leaves everywhere, right? And so the guy gets out the car. I didn't know him. Obviously I knew my friend. And the guy said, man, you got a beautiful home. And I was like, oh, thank you. I said, but boy, if I could have $1 for every leaf that's out here, I'd really be chilling, right? And he says, well, what do you do? And back then I was in pharmaceutical sales, right? And so he's like, well, what does a pharmaceutical sales rep do? And I said, we go around and we teach doctors about drugs. The drugs they prescribe. They just think doctors know everything, and they don't. We teach them. So anyway, he said, well, who helps you with your job? And I'm like, no, I get a territory and I go out and I go and see doctors. He said, yeah, but who helps you? And I'm like, nobody helped me, man. This is what I do. This is the job. I didn't understand where he was going with this. And he said, what? He said, let me ask you a question. You see all those leaves you were talking about? He said, would you rather rake the leaves by yourself or have somebody help you? Rather have somebody help me. Now I'm getting irritated. Like, because this dude's, I didn't know where he was going with this. So then he said, I know it probably snows here, right? I'm like, yeah, if it snows, we get trapped down here. He said, would you rather help you shovel or shovel by yourself? I'm like, dude, but so now I'm looking at my friend like, who is this clown you done brought me? You brought by here asking me silly questions. I said, I'd rather have somebody help me shovel. And then he dropped it on me. Aziz, he said, then why do you want to make money by yourself? I was like, ooh. You want somebody to help you do stuff like rake leaves. You want somebody to help you do stuff like shovel, but you want to make money by yourself, which is what you're doing on your job. You're just making money by yourself. What if you get sick? What if you get tired? What if you just don't want to do it no more? You ain't got nobody helping you. So you want to be in a system where you have people helping you make money and you're teaching them how to make money too. And you build a network of people who are all helping each other make money. And then he said, now, which one sounds better? Now, I'm sitting up here looking at all them damn leaves. And I want somebody to help me with this. And I want somebody to help me make money. And that's how I started learning. I flipped my mindset.
It was.
He was talking crazy at first, so I thought, but he was educating me without me even knowing it. And then when he educated me, I had two choices. One, accept the education, or two, reject it. No, that's not the way you do things. I was taught go to school, get good grades, work from 8 to faint at a job, and do that for 40 years. And then after 40 years, retire on 40% of something I couldn't survive on when I was making 100%.
Yeah.
Or I can build a community of people. We're all making money together. And we're building residual, which is the best type of income there is, period. Period. Yeah. You know?
And it's crazy. It's really, and that's what you were saying. Again, that's why I like you start off by flipping your mindset. It's really the reason why we have all these questions in our community, or when you present things like this to people, it's because, we're ignorant. This is how people get wealthy. Some people, you can say residual, you can say passive income. It's the same thing, right? And people don't understand the concept. So they look at it like, oh, it's a scheme, or it's this, or it's that, because we're programmed to stay poor. Why? Because they want people to work for them to build their network, because that's what they're doing. Any major company is building a network.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Some of the stuff people say. I had this one guy. He said, I want your listeners and viewers to check out what this dude said to me. All right. He said, I'll join Shop for Stocks Online if you take away the referral program. Aziz, I'll join Shop for Stocks Online if you take. Do you hear how crazy that is? Why would anybody with one brain cell say something so ridiculous and, dare I say, stupid, and you go out and refer? So I say, hey man, you can join, and I'll just keep your referral commissions if you refer somebody.
Yeah,
that makes no sense. Or you know what? Just pay me. I don't want to get paid them levels deep. Well, somebody's willing to pay you legitimately and honestly and legally, and this makes this is some of the craziness to people, because they haven't taken the time to educate themselves, right? And they will always be stuck at a certain level until they educate themselves to go further. So
yep, that's where our community is going to stay. We want to blame other folks, but it's a lack of, like you said, action. And action. Picking up a book, first of all, it doesn't cost you a lot. Educate yourself. Nowadays with AI, you can just Google stuff. It's to educate yourself, but we still lack that education, which keeps us in the position we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so I encourage people, if your job is your only source of income, or you and your spouse, well, y'all at risk, period. You can be in denial all you want to. You can say, no, I'm secure. And you know how many hundreds of thousands of people thought that? So unless you're willing to flip your mindset and say, hey, okay, I'm gonna open up, then say, you know what? The stock market, they talk about it every day, all day. They have channels dedicated to just this. Why is that? Because that's where the money's at. So a wise person, a smart person would say, you know what? I need to learn that and get involved in that. And then when picking somebody, or when this, I have three criteria if I'm going to give my money out to someone to educate me. The first one is they have to be passionate about what they're doing. All right. And if I'm going to give my money, they have to have all three of these. Can't just be one, they have to have all three. So the first one, they got to be passionate. I can't go and they're like, okay, this is how we're going to do the stocks today. And they may know all the stuff, but I can't. I need you to be passionate. The second thing is, this is a big one. They got to be able to demonstrate what they're talking about. Imagine if you were learning martial arts, right? And I'm your instructor, and you come and you paying me this money, and I say, okay, Aziz, come on in, grab a slice of pizza, let's get on the couch, and I put in a Bruce Lee movie. We're watching the Bruce. At some point, wouldn't you be thinking, okay, when you gonna show me what to do and how to do it? And I say, well, do what he's doing in the movie, right? So, number one, you got to be passionate. Number two, you got to be able to demonstrate what you're talking about. And my members know from the minute they log into our live training, right out the gate, they're going to see me and our members demonstrating what we say we can do, right? And then the third thing requirement, and again, you got to have all three. The third requirement is they have to be a great teacher. See, you can be passionate about something and you can demonstrate it, but you can't really teach it the way people understand it.
Yeah.
And so those are the three things. Again, got to be passionate, got to be able to demonstrate it, and got to be an excellent teacher so that I can not only grasp what you're saying, but ultimately I'm paying you so that I can have a transformation and do what you're teaching and do what you're saying. And that's what we do at Flip That Stock. And that's what we do in our new program, Shop for Stocks Online.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So in the last 5 minutes here before we wrap up, I want to basically lay down or put out how people can find you, how people can be part of the program, how people can learn about what you got going on.
Sure. So in order to sign up for our Shop for Stocks Online program, all right, that's our program that teaches investing and is very similar to shopping on Amazon, right? We have the interface that mimics that. In order to sign up for that, and the only way to sign up for that is you have to use someone's link. Somebody has to refer you. And so I think you'll put a link in underneath this video or something somewhere that people can click on. And so when you click on the link, it will take you to our website, shopforstocksonline.com. Don't just go straight there. You want to click on somebody's link, and it'll take you to shopforstocksonline.com. And on shopforstocksonline.com, you can click on the video on demand, and it'll play a video that explains the whole program. And also on Tuesdays, currently at 7 p.m., I do a live information session. But 24/7, you can just go there and click on the video on demand. It explains the whole program, and then follow the instructions, and you can sign up. Then you'll get your referral link and QR code. You can give that out to people to sign up. It's a very simple process. So that's how they can get involved with the Shop for Stocks Online program.
Okay, and I'll have that link once we put everything out. We'll have the link so you guys can click it and find out. You can also through that link, it has your information if they need to email you or email me or get in contact with us. But like you said, it's a very simple process.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the web page, there's a contact us button at the bottom, so you can send any questions that you may have and stuff like that. Once you sign up and you're in our community, then we have We have online training videos. We have live sessions every week. We have a chat board that you can, communicate and ask questions, talk to other members and stuff like that. And so you'll see all that information when you watch the video on demand. It'll show you exactly how it works. So when you become a member, you have easy access to us. Okay.
Absolutely. And with that, and like I said, it'll all be on there. But with that weekly training, you'll be able to. It's JR's training. He's not sending somebody else that he taught or something like that. He's basically doing the training. So you're learning from the pro. You're learning from the professional.
Yeah.
Which is important.
And we also have Professor Eric. So Professor Eric is he's another man. This brother is obsessed with the stock market. So he comes on every week as our special guest. And so it's really like a big stock market party. So if you think about it like this, I'm sure every person who's a viewer has gone out to a party, a sporting event, a concert, and all that, right? But how many of y'all have been to one stock market party in your life ever? And so far, 100% of people said they've never been to one. We have a weekly one where we're looking at stocks and teaching and educating and stuff like that. So a lot of fun. We talk trash. We get it in, but we're extremely thorough at what we do when it comes to the stock market.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as usual, we appreciate you, and we'll bring you back on to talk about the progress of the program and what state you guys are in. Basically, he's in every single state. So if you're listening, it doesn't matter where you are. You can participate. Right. And then, we'll bring you back on, and we'll look forward to anybody here that wants more information, that wants to learn. As always, we appreciate you viewing. We appreciate your support. And as always, we're always going to bring you guys something that's educational, that can better your future, better your community's future, better your family's future. So again, we appreciate you. Thanks, JR.
All right. Thanks so much, Aziz. I'll see you.